6:37 past the hours, and the market just opened with the Dow ticking up slightly after the massive drop that we saw on Friday. It tumbled 900 points to close out April, with the S&P posting its worst month since the pandemic began, and the Nasdaq posting its worst month since the 2008 financial crisis. But it's not just in the United States. Global economic growth is slowing to a crawl as COVID and the war in Ukraine rattles the world's biggest economies. And as fears grow about a recession here at home, Fed Chair Jerome Powell is set to announce a big rate hike later this week.
So many questions. I know, Mika, on your birthday, you want clarity.
No.
So I have brought in columnist and editor for the New York Times Deal Book and co-anchor of CNBC Squawk Box, Andrew Ross Sorkin.
Andrew, it's my birthday. I'm 55.
Happy birthday.
Happy
birthday. You know, Andrew, as we went through COVID, we've never gone through anything like that before in our lifetime. We haven't gone through people holding the $2 trillion on the side and then dumping it into the economy. A lot of things going on that led to a lot of questions. But when you look and see that the EU's economy is basically slowed down to a stop, when you look at what's happened in the U.S., when you look at what's happening in China, when you look at interest rates going up, suddenly it becomes more clear. And what Wall Street's saying isn't all that positive. Does the recession begin now?
Well, maybe it's already begun in some ways. I think that the moment of clarity oddly came actually last Thursday night when Amazon reported its earnings. Less revenue than people had expected, but also a sense that costs are going to continue to rise. Wages are going to go up. A good thing for those people working at Amazon, of course, less of a good thing when it comes to their profits and the potential for earnings. And that is a sort of a microcosm for the economy and how businesses across this country, I think, are starting to think about what happens. Then you start to think about the strength of the consumer. The consumer is held up, but we've also talked about the fact that interest rates, and this is the week we're going to find out what happens, at least with this first next step for the Federal Reserve. And you're going to start to see credit card interest rates go up. So you're going to see mortgage rates go up. And then the question is, does that tip the balance for the consumer? And what do they do? You go to the, you go to get your car some gas these days. And, the running joke is you got to get a second mortgage. And I think that's the other big issue right now. And so you put all those things together, plus Europe, plus the rest of the world, and people are starting to get pretty concerned.
I'm so glad you brought up Netflix, because, when Facebook drops by 25% in a day or two, you're like, OK, it's Facebook. Is it real? Is it not real? What's going on? Right. I mean, when you see Netflix lose close to 50%, that's still streaming. You see Amazon go down 15% in a day. They deal in real goods. Right. Almost all of us have Amazon. We order things day in and day out. If they're getting hit by 15%, suddenly you're talking about, I know this is a stupid, I read Sports Illustrated during Econ 101 in the back row. So I'll just say it. It seems like the real economy. When you have Amazon take that much of a hit, you start going, oh, my God, this may be more than just, pets.com going under.
I think there's a broad sort of realization that, especially, by the way, the big tech stocks, the Facebooks of the world, the Amazons of the world, the Netflixes of the world, all of them have come down. And the question is, what is the growth story for the future? And then you layer on top, by the way, I just got back from Omaha. This weekend was what they call Woodstock for Capitalists. Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett has an annual meeting. And he was talking really just about how much speculation and gambling there's been in the market, how much money's been thrown against the wall, and also a sense that maybe where stocks were over the past year and a half, that there was a bit of an Alice in Wonderland element to this. And we used to talk about that all the time, actually, right? I mean, that was the big issue in terms of we look around and go, we're in the middle of a pandemic. How is it possible that stocks are this high? And so everything is relative. And so you're looking at these prices come down. But maybe the truth is you should be looking at where prices were pre-pandemic.
Right. And certainly the stocks, the price of the stocks not necessarily commensurate to the health of the economy. And that's a lesson that Donald Trump never wanted anyone to learn because he'd brag about it all the time. But certainly that is where we are now. So talk a little bit about the what we should expect here from the Federal Reserve. With
I think you're going to see what they call a 50-point basis rise. Some people are talking about 75 points. And, how fast do you go? Interestingly, there's a wealth effect issue, which is to say that if stocks continue to come down, you could argue that actually does a little bit of work for Jay Powell. In terms of what Jay Powell and the Fed are trying to do is reduce demand.
Right.
And so if you're trying to reduce demand, if in fact the market comes down ahead of that unto itself may reduce demand. People feel less wealthy. They go out and they spend less money. They don't go maybe on as many trips. So when you start to think about inflation, that in a strange way could help. I don't think it's going to change the dynamic this week in terms of what the Fed does, but it could change the dynamic in terms of what they do next month and the month after and the month after.
And by the way, here we are less than an hour in.
Oh, boy.
Amazon already down over 3%. It just keeps going.
It just keeps going.
Andrew Ross Sorkin.
But some people may think it's on sale, too. I just want to say there's another side to all of this. I don't know the answer, but we'll see.
Okay, Andrew Ross Sorkin,
Happy
thank
birthday.
you very, very much. Thank you very much. I just got a kiss.
I know, that was
a virtual kiss.
Very good.
That's nice.
Great.
All right, coming up, actor Liev Schreiber has close ties to Ukraine and is working hard to help dozens of aid groups there amid the war. And he joins us ahead. Plus, a look at